Stop music.
5:38 here at WIXY1260. And if you have a request... Oh, you always throw me with that. At least with Ray, I hear a bell.
You want to see something else that's funny?
No. I really don't.
That didn't go out in the air.
Yes, it probably did. Yes.
I didn't do anything.
Tape was rolling.
Oh, this is going to be good. Anyway, now I lost my train of thought. Go ahead,
Request.
Cliff. Okay, yes. If you have a request, 216-744-9499, and we do have one. So, Cliff, here, you can read that line again, and then you can tell the request.
Okay, for a request, dial 216-744-WIXY or 216-744-9499. And we do have a request right now. It was by my son, Adam. He is listening tonight, I guess wanting to listen to his dad. And it's by Cher. It's Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves.
Broadcasting career. Call the WIXY School at 391-1111 day or night. That's 391-1111.
Okay. We didn't do that just for, kicks and giggles.
No?
No. Cliff, you actually went to WIXY School, did you not?
The WIXY School of Broadcast Technique. 391-1111.
Oh my goodness. How many years ago was that?
Ooh.
Okay. So many he can't remember. His head, you can see the calculator going
39 years ago.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so did you go through? Did you graduate? What happened? And tell me about, you had a story that was related to this, so I want to hear about that too.
Okay, when we had our school, we also had the classrooms and we had studio time. And studio time, you made up a little program or whatever, or worked on audition tapes. And one time I was in my studio time, or lab time as they called it, and they asked me to step out of the studio. It was a count staff, and Mike Ranieri walks in there, and they did a 10-second bomb pop commercial for Convenient Food Mart.
So you had to exit the studio.
I had to exit the studio, but I went into another one, and I heard them do the bomb pop commercial. So every time that come on TV, like I said, 10, 15 seconds. Had a picture of two bomb pops there because it was 2 for 15 cents at the time. Shows you how long ago that was.
Okay, that was WIXY School of...
It's WIXY School of Broadcast
Technique, which was the same thing as the WIXY School of Broadcast, correct? Which became Connecticut School of Broadcast, right?
It became the Ohio School of Broadcast Technique. And I think they might have merged with the Connecticut school. I don't know. What
because
happened
I went to the
after
Ohio Center for Broadcasting, which is everything has evolved into that, which is what it is today.
Yeah.
So
but they're over in Independence. We were right next to the WIXY Studios at 3940 Euclid Avenue.
Okay. So did you get to meet any of the other WIXY jocks at that time?
Well, getting off on the elevator. Once we got there, we walked past the WIXY Studios, and if you've seen any pictures of those, it's like glass encased.
They're right behind you. See it? Yeah, there you go.
It right up there. And I would go in for my lab time before my class. My class was like from noon to 3 o'clock or something like that. And Mike Ranieri would be on the air, and he would be talking to the callers. He was probably the first shock jock in the area. And there were times I'd come in later, and the disc jockey was Michael Collins. And he would have guests on. One time I walked past there, and he had Ron Howard and Anson Williams in the studio.
Wow, during the Happy Days times, huh?
Right as Happy Days was coming on. And another time I walked off the elevator, and Michael Jackson was in the studio with him.
Oh, man. So at that point in time, did you realize that these people were going to be as big and famous? I mean, I always look back and I think of people that I've met and things like that, and man, I should have got my picture taken with them, or I should have had my autograph with them. And did you think that?
Yeah, I wish I could have. I knew, the Jackson 5 were big at the time, so, I knew Michael was... I didn't know he was going to be as big as what he became.
Exactly.
And I also realized, like, Happy Days is one of my favorite shows So, seeing Anson Williams and Ron Howard inside the studio, man, I was very impressed.
And Ron Howard has gone on to direct, and man, that man is just very, 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 very popular still in a lot of areas, especially some of his movies. I love the Apollo movies,
However, I do have a better head of hair.
You certainly do. Yes, that would be true. Very, very true. Yeah, much more. So anyway, Cliff comes to us this evening as the poetry man. He writes limericks. He writes poetry. He has taken our playlist here at WIXY. He's listened, and he's taken some of our music, and he's put some limericks together. So we have another one, and I'm going to let you bring the song in as well. So go ahead.
Well, first off, I do want to let you know that this quarter hour of WIXY1260 is brought to you by Guillotine Coffee. Try new Guillotine Coffee in regular or decapitated.
That's good. I like that.
Do you have the clap? Let's play the clap.
I don't have the clap.
Okay.
Well, don't give it to me either.
Okay. I was talking about the sound effect. Thank you so much. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Great feelings will always abound when we're hearing this Motown sound. Great musical thunder when we hear Stevie Wonder. Songs that are always profound. And now on WIXY1260, here's Signed, Sealed, Deliver, I'm Yours.
Lisa, do you want my autograph?
No.
Thank you.
Windsor, I didn't want Larry Morrow, so that's how he ended up with my real name in this town, John.
I have read that book from Larry Morrow, and our own Ray King is mentioned in that book. I've bought the book. I gave it to him because I was reading through it, and lo and behold, Ray's name came up, and I went, oh my gosh, Ray's name's in here. I said, so I called Ray. I said, did you know your name's in Larry Morrow's book? And he did not know. So I said, well, you got to have this book. So I brought it to him, and but Larry Morrow, if you've never read his book, he has a wonderful story to tell, and he did a lot of great things for WIXY. I would love to meet Larry. So if Larry is ever listening, I hope that someday he will come into WIXY and just share all kinds of good stories again, and actually behind the mic again for a little bit. But you have a limerick for Larry Morrow, do you not, Cliff?
Yes, I do. But before I give the limerick,
Okay.
I have to second you on the Larry Morrow book. I have read it too. And anybody out there, if you're a radio geek, such as myself, and evidently Lisa is a radio geek as well, I think that book would be an easy, very enjoyable read for you.
Oh, very much so. And let me just say, back in the day when WIXY was in its heyday, and we are trying to get it back into its heyday again, as you can tell, we've got a nice little setup here. But they did a lot of wonderful things for this community, for the city of Cleveland. The parades. They sent Larry over to talk to the guys in the military during Vietnam. I mean, he went over there and talked to these people, sat with them, came back and did like a Christmas show about some of the things that they had said to him. He had all these recordings, and that, I guess, really, really touched me that WIXY did that kind of thing for the people of Cleveland. So, yeah, we would love to have Larry in here someday, and we've got pictures of Ray with Larry, and like I said, Ray's name's mentioned in that book, and I just think it would be so cool to have him come back in here. So anyway, go ahead.
When Larry Morrow was on 10 to 2, to housewives he'd give many a clue. They all would be looking to see what was cooking. Great food for all to review.
Love that. Go ahead.
Well, before the Food Network, we had Larry Morrow.
We had Larry Morrow, exactly. So he kept the wives entertained with that food information then in the afternoon. So that is true. That is mentioned in his book. So if you haven't read that book, go get that book. Larry, I'm giving you a plug, buddy. You need to come into the station too. So anyway, let's go on to another band. Which one would you like to talk to us about?
Well, one of the bands that I have my earliest memories of. I'm 58 years old. Of course, I was.
You don't look a day over 28. See? He doesn't know what to say. I think I just floored him. He's like, oh, really?
No, I don't have a comeback for that.
Oh, okay.
But
no limerick or anything for that? You have to work on that. So next time you come in here.
I'm not that quick.
Okay. No, you are pretty quick. I've seen you come up with stuff that fast. But go ahead. Let's talk about the Beach Boys.
Okay, the Beach Boys are one of the greatest surf bands around, and here's my limerick for them. In the California town of Hawthorne was where surfing music was born. The sounds of the joys coming from the Beach Boys. Happy tunes that no one can scorn. And remember, the WIXY request line is open at 216-744-9499. And on WIXY1260, here are the Beach Boys with California Girls.
By the way, Lisa, my name's in that book too. I
You
wrote
wish.
it on the last page. I wrote it on the last page.
Yeah, I saw it. Signed, sealed, delivered, right?
Absolutely.
5:58 here at WIXY 1260. Magic Mike, Lisa Jordan, and Cliff Feightner. Cliff is the poetry man, and he's our limerick guy today. And he is, well, I guess our guest disc jockey, because we have him calling the songs and all that. Are you having fun?
Oh, absolutely.
Is this what you would like to do full time like me? 'Cause
I'm living the dream right now.
I know, right? This is absolutely perfect. I would love to do this. We would never leave here if we didn't have to eat and drink and go to the bathroom and all this stuff,
No,
right?
seriously, something on my bucket list would be to host an on-air shift.
Yeah?
Yeah.
At a certain station? Or do you like certain types of music, or does it matter? Are you like the rest of us? We just kind of like everything, and we just kind of form around what we're doing. And
Well, I do like rock. You know.
Okay, classic? The old
classic
stuff?
Rock, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm also, I also listen to some country as well.
So do I.
How about polkas?
You like polkas?
No.
Okay, well, if you're going to work in Cleveland, you're going to have to like some polkas, because, this is kind of that type of, capital polka capital.
Yeah, I
We're rock
don't
and roll
bowl either.
Of the world.
Oh, he doesn't bowl either, so we're in real trouble.
So you don't have White Sox, pink flamingos in your front yard?
Well, I don't have the pink flamingos.
Oh, but this program does go to Parma.
That was really cool. We were going to start up a WIXY bowling team. See the picture over there? We'll have to show that sometime. The basketball team. Would you ever wear shorts that short? I mean, that was like crazy short, right?
Wrong.
Okay, now, if I wore shorts that short, people would not come to see it.
Well-
you've heard of indecent exposure?
Yeah. Those guys didn't have any problem. That's, I guess, just the way things looked back in the 70s, right? But we had the Supermen, and I don't blame you. I wouldn't wear that stuff either. So, anyway.
I mean, I feel honored to be an honorary Superman this afternoon.
So, there you go. And we'll leave it at that. You've got some requests and dedications here that we need to get going on. So, whichever one you want to start with. It's up to you. He'll click and point to whatever you say.
Okay. Before I say that, once again, the WIXY request lines are now open at 216-744-9499. That will be the WIXY request line. Also, our chat room is open. So if anybody wants to talk about me behind my back, you can go on the chat room and say whatever you want about me. I'm not going to look at it. And I'm a big boy. My feelings won't get hurt. However, I will find out where you live. Right now, we're going to play this one by Barry Manilow. This is, I think my sister is the one who requested this. Here's Weekend in New England.